Here's a name I can say from the Eradicator.
Hello and welcome to this channel, everybody. This is the Eradicator, and in this video we are going to talk about surface harvestables. I know that this title does not sound very juicy, no pun intended here, but I believe that this is actually very important as a topic, and that far too many players seem to be overlooking in my opinion. And so in this video I will talk about why I think that they are important and what CIG needs to do to make it worthwhile to collect them. Now, before we move on, I actually asked a question to CIG on Spectrum for the upcoming Star Citizen Live, which will be dedicated to Star Citizen Alpha 3.7, and my question is the following. I spent over 22 hours looking for fruits on Hurston at what I believe is the correct biome, savanna, yet I found nothing. I also can't find any evidence on the internet that other players found them either. Are they really in the game? Are they this rare, or is it a bug? As you can see, the question doesn't have a lot of upvotes now, but this is something I have been asking for weeks, since the early days of the PTU actually, and no one has been able to give me a proper answer, so I thought that this would be the chance. Thank you so much for helping me if you do. That being said, let's now talk about the importance of Harvestable and what they add to the game in terms of opportunities for players, and especially new or broke players. And here I think that this new gameplay element is a fantastic chance for anyone with a starter ship to make a quick buck. In theory, all it takes is a ship that can take you to any point of a planet known to have harvestables and find things to pick up, and then go back to your local landing zone or station to sell what was found. Doing so multiple times should allow players to make, over a couple of hours, enough money to be able to rent higher tier ships that would allow players to engage into activities such as maybe combat or trade, which are of course much more lucrative activities than just finding stuff randomly. However, these activities are also far riskier, which explains why they pay more. I think that everyone understands this logic here, right? Nevertheless, there are also seasoned or veteran players who do enjoy exploring and just wandering around planets, perhaps because it is relaxing or because the sights are just gorgeous. And I also believe that collecting harvestables is a good way to make this activity financially rewarding and potentially viable. I am all for it. Unfortunately, as of now, this is just theory, and the reality is far from being this exciting. Sure, you would hear occasional stories of players who collected those items, and stole tens of thousands of Alpha UEC worth of harvestables, but those are isolated cases and does not reflect the reality that the overwhelming majority of players who are interested in collecting harvestables are having to deal with. The reality is that harvestables, such as surface harvestables, the ones outside of caves that are supposed to be found on Hurston, Ariel, or Aberdeen, are nowhere to be found. And I am not talking about the mineable ones, I am talking about the fruits and fungi that are supposed to be found across the surface of those planetary bodies. I personally spent over 22 hours in the PTU and the PU looking for them, and yet I am still empty-handed. And from what I could read on Spectrum, Reddit, or Discord, this is not an isolated case. I am not an isolated case here, and anyone who claimed to have found those items have failed to provide any evidence so far, which makes me heavily doubt the veracity of their claims. I actually believe that they are not in the game, which is an issue because, well, they are supposed to be the easiest and cheapest to find. They are supposed to be the staple of exploration, and yet no one could prove they found any in the game yet. The next thing that CIG needs to work on is how quickly those harvestable entities respawn, and here I am talking about those that can be found in caves. All too often have I ventured into caves in which everything had been strip mined by other players long before I arrived. Now, if we had dozens of caves per planet, this would be fine, you know, I would just go to the next cave, right? But given the current rarity of those locations within the game, it just ends up being a waste of time for most players who spend 20 minutes going to a cave and 20 minutes exploring it only to realize it is completely empty. Now, I am not saying that all of the spawnable entities should respawn every time a new players enter a cave. However, I also do believe that players should have a chance of at least finding something when they get in. There, you know, which is actually not always the case right now as I'm writing these lines. Again, I do believe that harvestables are great for starting or broke players, sorry. However, what CIG may achieve is making those harvestables so hard to find that actually it is going to frustrate players and make them quit the game until, you know, the mechanics is improved or if they have something new to do. I am not sure that this is the best way to keep the player base active. And so this is what I think about those harvestables. I think that they are a great potential way of making money in the game for starting players. However, given their rarity, they are not a viable way of making money as of now. CIG needs to make them more present, more frequent, with fruits and fungi actually needing to become ubiquitous. I really hope the devs will address this issue in Star Citizen Live. By the way, the link to my question is in the link below, so please help me get that question upvoted as much as possible. Also, guys, this month I have a giveaway. I am giving away 2 Patreons only. It's a Patreon exclusive giveaway, a Tombury Ranger CV with lifetime insurance. This is the last one that I have. So if you want to have a chance of winning, don't forget to check out this link to my Patreon page in the description down below. Pledges start at $1 a month, and it is really helping the channel a lot. If you also want to help the channel, there's that subscribe button, which is definitely helping, or putting on some comments and like is also helping promoting this video or the channel in the Google algorithm. So please help me do that as well. That is really appreciated. That is all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next vid. This is the Eradicator. I am signing out.